Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of the Snap Judgments podcast, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And today I've got the best Hela Tribunal deck. Even before the Living Tribunal buff and the Magic buff, I have been playing both of these decks. This exact deck to really great results. I've been getting gold tickets. I haven't actually cashed in my gold tickets, but I've been getting gold tickets. I'm maintaining a 60+% win rate with this deck. Safety has been playing it. Several of our friends have been playing it. This deck is sick. The buffs from yesterday's OTA made it just better. I'm excited to tell you about it. Before we get there, two things. First, on Marvel Snap Zone, every single day, I do a deck of the day. I have Safety's Multiple Phoenix as the deck of the day for today. I think it's the best deck in the game, and I think you really need to try it out. You'll get a deck history, a little breakdown of the deck, and then you'll get a how to play turn-by-turn guide for the deck. It's a nice, quick way to find and pick up and play a brand new deck every single weekday, along with the two decks I post here every weekday, which brings me to the second thing I wanted to talk about. I'd like to urge you to subscribe to this channel. We do 2 decks every single weekday. We're even doing a weekend deck for tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we're doing 2 a day all next week. We bring you the best decks in the game before the rest of the meta notices. This way you can get extra cubes, you can hit infinite faster, you can achieve all of your goals in Marvel Snap, including getting those infinity borders. But you have to sub, or we can't. Make sure you stay ahead of the meta. In addition, we do the largest Marvel Snap Season Pass giveaway. We are also giving away some Marvel Snap Zone premium accounts. So if you're interested in either of those two things, make sure you're subbed so you don't miss out as we get there, as we move on to talk about that. Now it is Tribunal time. This deck is absolutely sick, and I'm aware that there are several Series 5 cards in it. Hopefully you picked up Tribunal earlier this month, I guess last week, and hopefully you pick up Iron Lad either earlier or this week. Besides that, the only other Series 5 card is Howard the Duck. You do not need Howard the Duck, although I'll be honest, he does help. I think, strangely, if not Howard, I'd be running Crystal here. Crystal as an extra draw is reasonably powerful here. Your general playline is on 1, you get down Howard, on 2, you get down Invisible Woman. On 3, you get down either Electro or Magic. Your goal is to, as soon as possible, get to MODOK and then Hela behind Invisible Woman. If you have Echo, that'll help protect you from Cosmo, but Cosmo's not super prevalent in them. Obviously, MODOK and Hela are going to discard a massive amount of power on the board. You can often finagle it. It often occurs that Iron Man and Onslaught go into a single lane, and when they do, like, this deck is just completely busted. Tribunal as a 6/9 is amazing, because the real problem with Hela decks forever was that they would just put all the power in one lane, right? Like, you would get back when they were running like Death and Giganto, you get like your Death, Infinite, Giganto in one lane and then just sit there sadly. Well, that's no longer the case. Iron Man and Onslaught are incredibly powerful. Hela, MODOK are good stat cards. Iron Lad's a good stat card. Jubilee will very likely pull a good stat card, and Tribunal himself is a 6/9. That being spread all across the board is absolutely crazy strong. Magic gives you an extra turn to see your combo. Finding Visible MODOK and Hela is key. If there is a 7-turn game and on turn 5 you have MODOK but not Hela, feel free to use that MODOK. You'll just discard the hand, and one of your next 2 draws is fairly likely to be Hela, like extremely likely to be Hela. So go for that. And if you don't draw Hela at that point, hopefully you draw Jubilee or Iron Lad, who can be a faux Hela, who can basically act as Hela in that situation. The deck goes off, the deck wins, like almost always, and the deck is silly consistent at going off. Because if you don't see Invisible Woman, you've got the option to Jubilee or Iron Lad into her, right? If you don't see MODOK right away, same thing. Jubilee, Iron Lad, you've got the extra turn for Magic. You've got all these different things. If push comes to shove, you end up playing, say, Invisible Woman in one lane, Electro in another, and you don't have any of your pieces, you can always drop Iron Man in a lane, Tribunal and Onslaught on them and just put like 20 power in each lane and say, okay, top that. And that wins a fair amount of Marvel Snap games as well. This deck is hyper consistent for what it is. I think this is one of the best things you can be doing. I'm going to be honest, this deck is the biggest reason to get Echo. I think eventually, if this deck is as good as it has appeared in the early going, and the meta is still very much developing, we are in the early going. But if the deck is as good as it seems, you're going to want to be able to protect that Invisible Woman from Cosmo. And, well, Echo does that better than anything else. Although, like, cards like Polaris and Green Goblin and so on could ruin your combo. So be careful how many things you end up putting behind Invisible Woman so that you don't get junked out of a game, for example. All right. That's the second deck of the day. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found value in this. Hopefully you try this deck out and it has the success for you it did for me. Please hit that sub button. Please like, comment, help us out with that YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, everybody. See you tomorrow.